The lie in the city. I should have known something was wrong the moment Emily stopped calling me love. In London, that word means something: warmth, comfort, home, but that evening it was gone. We need to talk, Oliver. Not Ollie, not love, just Oliver, cold, formal, distant. We were standing outside her flat in Clapham, the late evening air carrying the hum of traffic and distant sirens. The streetlights flickered on, casting long shadows across the pavement. I forced a small smile. That sounds serious. She didn't smile back, and just like that, something in my chest tightened. My parents had dinner with yours last night? That hit me harder than it should have, because I hadn't spoken to my parents in years, not since I left home in Surrey and built a life they never approved of. Oh, I said carefully. How did that go? She looked at me for a long moment, like she was trying to decide whether I was worth trusting. Then she said it. They told me you have a child. The city noise faded, the buses, the footsteps, everything gone. What? I said, almost laughing in disbelief. Her voice didn't shake. They said you abandoned her. Silence, heavy, suffocating. I don't have a child, I said firmly, too firmly, and I saw it, that tiny flicker in her eyes, doubt. You didn't even hesitate, Emily said quietly. Because it's not true, I snapped. I don't have a kid. Then why would they say that? That question, it stayed there between us, unanswered. The life I built without them. I hadn't spoken to my parents in nearly 3 years. Not since the night I walked out of their house and never looked back. They lived in a perfect little neighborhood. Clean streets, perfect lawns. Perfect reputation, perfect illusion. Behind closed doors, control, expectation, pressure. You don't get to choose your own life, my father had said that night. You'll come back, my mother added calmly. They always do, but I didn't. I moved to London, started over, built something real, and then I met Emily. The crack between us. Maybe there's something you're not telling me, she said, and there it was. The crack, not in the story, but in us. You think I could hide something like that? I asked. I don't know what to think anymore, she whispered. That hurt, more than the accusation, because it meant one thing: she wasn't sure who I was anymore. I need some time, she said, stepping back toward her door. Emily, I need time, Oliver. And then she was gone. The door shut quietly, but it felt like something much louder had just broken. The call I never wanted to make. I stood there for a long time, watching a closed door, until I did the one thing I swore I'd never do again. I called my parents. It rang once, twice. Then my mother answered. Well, she said smoothly, I was wondering when you'd call. What did you tell her? Straight to the point, no pretending, a soft laugh. Oh, Oliver, still so impatient. You lied. Did I? My grip tightened on the phone. I don't have a child. A pause, then my father's voice came through. Not that you know of. My heart skipped. What does that mean? Silence. Then my mother spoke again, calm, controlled, dangerous. Why don't you come to the rehearsal dinner? I froze. What? Friday, 7 p.m., she said. Central London. You'll want to be there. Why? Another pause, and then because she'll be there. She, I whispered, but the line went dead. Something is coming that night. London felt different. The same streets, the same lights, but something had shifted, because my parents didn't lie for no reason. They planned, they waited. And whatever they were about to do, it wasn't just about hurting me. It was about destroying everything. And I had no idea that the girl walking into that dinner would turn my entire life upside down. The dinner that changed everything. Friday came faster than I expected. All day I couldn't focus. Every thought led back to one question: who was she? By the time I reached the restaurant in central London, my chest felt tight. It was one of those upscale places, soft lighting, polished glass, quiet conversations. The kind of place where everything looks perfect, even when it's not. Through the window, I could already see them, my parents, sitting at the center of the table like they owned the room. Emily was there too. She looked different, not angry, not emotional, just distant, like she had already made up her mind. I walked in. Every step felt heavier than the last. Oliver, my mother said with a polite smile, as if nothing had happened. You made it. I didn't sit, not yet. Let's skip the performance, I said. What is this? My father leaned back calmly. All in good time. Emily avoided my eyes. That hurt more than anything else. Sit down, my mother said softly. Reluctantly, I did. And that's when I noticed there was an empty chair right next to my mother, waiting. The moment everything broke. 5 minutes passed. No one spoke much. The tension at that table, it was unbearable. Then the door opened, and everything changed. A young girl walked in, maybe 7 or 8 years old, dark hair, quiet eyes. She looked nervous, like she didn't belong there, but she walked straight toward our table. My heart started pounding. "No," I whispered. She stopped beside my mother, and my mother placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Oliver," she said sweetly, "this is Lily." "Lily." The girl looked at me, and in that moment the entire room felt like it was spinning. "Say hello," my mother encouraged. The girl hesitated, then softly said, "Hi." I stood up so fast my chair scraped loudly. "This is insane," I said. "What are you doing?" Emily finally looked at me. Her eyes were filled with something worse than anger, disappointment. "They said you'd react like this," she whispered. "Of course they did. They planned this, every second of it." "The lie unfolds. She's your daughter, Oliver," my father said calmly. "No, she's not," I snapped. "Then prove it," he replied. Silence. "Because how do you prove something that never existed?" My mother leaned forward slightly. "We've taken care of her all these years," she said. "While you ran away, that's a lie, is it?" She smiled, then she looked at Lily. "Tell him." The girl looked confused, nervous. I was told," she stammered, "that my dad didn't want me." That hit hard. Not because it was true, but because someone had made her believe it. I turned to Emily. "Look at me," I said. "You know me. Does this make any sense?" She hesitated. And that hesitation, it almost broke me. The truth begins to crack. Something wasn't right, not just emotionally, logically. The timing, the story, the way the girl spoke. I took a deep breath, then crouched down in front of her. "Hey," I said gently. "What's your name again?" "Lily," she said softly. "Lily, do you know who told you I'm your dad?" She glanced at my parents, then back at me. "They said you are." "Of course they did." I stood up slowly. And then I saw it, a small envelope on the table, next to my father. Documents, prepared, planned. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about truth. This was about control. Again, the trap exposed. "You didn't just lie," I said quietly. "You built a whole story." My mother smiled faintly. "We did what was necessary." "For what?" "To remind you," my father said, "that you don't get to walk away from family." There it was, not revenge, ownership. They weren't trying to ruin me, they were trying to pull me back, by destroying everything I had built, including Emily. The breaking point. I turned to Emily one last time. "If you believe this," I said, my voice steady now, "then you never really knew me." Silence. The entire table waited. Seconds felt like minutes. Then finally she spoke. "This doesn't feel right," she said slowly. My parents stiffened. "What do you mean?" my mother asked. Emily looked at Lily, then at me, then back at them. "You're controlling the entire narrative," she said. "He hasn't been given a chance to prove anything." My father's expression darkened. "That's not your concern." "It is," she replied firmly. "He's my fiancé." That was the moment everything shifted. The final move. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. "You wanted proof," I said. "I'll give you proof." I dialed a number, a friend of mine, a lawyer. Within minutes I had confirmation. No records, no birth certificate, no legal connection, nothing. Complete silence filled the table. I placed the phone down. "This ends now." The aftermath. My parents didn't argue, they didn't apologize, they just looked at me, cold, calculating. "This isn't over," my mother said quietly, but for the first time I wasn't afraid. "Yeah," I replied. "It is." Walking away for good, I looked at Lily one last time. She wasn't the villain, she was just another piece in their game. "I'm sorry," I said softly. Then I turned, took Emily's hand and walked out. Outside, the London air felt different, lighter, like something heavy had finally been lifted. Emily squeezed my hand. "I'm sorry I doubted you," she said. I looked at her. "You came back," I replied. "That's what matters." Behind us, that chapter closed for good. Sometimes the people who try to break you are the same ones who teach you how to finally walk away.